This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey, guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
Merry New Year. Happy 2019 to all you WFOers out there.
Hey, in this country, we say Happy New Year. That's Happy New Year.
Merry New Year. 10 people got the joke, but they loved it. And everybody else is confused, as usual. And that is WFO. That's it. That's WFO. Simply put. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the first WFO Radio Ignition podcast of 2019. 2019 number 1. And we are off and running and excited. And I know that a lot of you are probably thinking about many things that we said at the tail end of 2018, like there would be a best of show or something, and let's just forget all of that and move forward. We're not here to talk about the past. We're here to talk about the present and the future and a little bit about the past, as in cool things that we did over the big winter break and all of that. I'll be happy to explain why the winter break was a little bit extended, but nobody cares. What they care about is having a safe, successful, fun 2019. And that's what we aim to do. So if you're new to WFO Radio Ignition, if you've just found this podcast, if you're searching around, you're one of those podcast people who is searching and looking and trying to find the voice of the next generation, you found us instead. And that's fine. And subscribe and check us out for a couple of weeks. Like, not for the rest of your life. Through March. Just stick around through March. And you'll either love us or hate us like poison. One way or another, that sample size would have been long enough. Now, normally I don't like to timestamp the show. Like, when is this happening? When are these guys together? What are they doing? Why are they doing it? Why are they doing it then?
Right here, right now.
But the fact of the matter is we are here and now. And the national championship game is on. And so you get a general idea when it is. And so we may react. We may incorporate what's going on because everybody knows about this. This is kind of interesting. It is Alabama and Clemson again, right? Is this the third time they've played?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's a compelling game. It's been back and forth. The over is looking good. I don't even know what the over and under is, but they're looking pretty good. It's 28-16 at the moment with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter.
That's
and Clemson has the ball.
Points.
He's back to pass. It is a long ball and caught.
That's 42 points for those of you that are over-inclined.
Over-inclined. There it is. But this is offensive. This is offensive-minded here. This is my style of game. They're slinging it.
Well, this is why we like sports,
for
lots of scoring. Chicks dig the long ball.
They do. Chicks dig the long ball, and they also like a whole lot of scoring. And so that's where we're getting
Who
all
doesn't like to score?
I love scoring. And so that is what's going on. And now you're up to speed. So that's going to do it for this episode of Ignition. Thank you very much for listening to the program.
Bye.
No, there is NASCAR news. There's Formula One big news. There's all kinds of news. The first NHRA Nitro of 2019. NHRA Nitro 2019, number 1.
No. Ignition, number 1.
Well, then NHRA.
That's what's going on
right,
now.
But tomorrow or later in the week will be NHRA Nitro number 1, and we've got great guests. They're going to be Scott Palmer and Shane Tucker and Alan Reinhart are all going to be back. I've received a couple of complaints, like, where's NHRA Nitro, and you haven't been on the air since December 19th or 21st, whatever it was, and what's wrong with you, and why are you not producing podcasts? Why are you not producing? And this is a great question.
Was that the patrons? Is that who was complaining?
No, it was not.
Oh, well, then you know what? If you're not a patron, you have no right to say anything about anything. The archive is the one that takes no days off. Not Gio and Joe, the archive.
The archive.
We are allowed days off here and there, especially throughout the holiday season, so we can enjoy some time with our families.
And you mentioned the Patreons.
But the archive takes no days off. And if you wanted to enjoy a best of, you know what you do? You scroll down that archive and close your eyes and just scroll down, and magically close your eyes and just pick any show. And that would be your best of right there.
See, I love that.
And then you do it again the next day, and a different show pops up. All at Lady Luck.
Yeah, like a wheel.
Boom.
We should have a wheel of archive.
Like the wheel of
you spin
whatever.
the wheel.
The Wheel of Fortune, the wheel at the Price is Right to win the big money. It's all a wheel. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
You know what my favorite wheel is?
It's always a wheel.
My favorite wheel?
The Wheel of Torture?
Well, no, well, kind of like that. My favorite wheel, because you mentioned a lot of wheels, right? There's a lot of wheels. There's
Wheels,
the Wheel of Fortune. But there was Wonder Wheel. Remember
if I had
Richard?
wheels, I'd be a wagon.
Richard Pryor, Wonder Wheel. There was that. But I like the wheel in Beyond Thunderdome. Oh. Bust a deal, face the wheel. Right? Remember that? Bust a deal, face the wheel, and they would all chant it. That was so. You can submit your favorite wheel in history, Joe at WFOradio.com, and we'll read them next week on the show. Favorite wheel, subject. So, yeah, that's it. Now, why did we take extended? I'll give you the real deal.
No, that was me. I'm the aggressive one out of the two
You're
of us.
slightly aggressive.
Not all the time.
Not really.
Let's be honest.
No, I would think.
Well,
I don't want to get in an argument over who's more aggressive, but I kind of think that I'm more aggressive.
Well,
you're kind of a passive guy.
You're more short-tempered. I'm more of a, like aggressive in your face kind of.
You're a dick.
I'm a Richard.
Yes.
You are absolutely
yes.
correct. Yeah, I've been called worse.
There it is. So we're settling problems for 2019 already. I will tell you this. This is the thing. We had Performance TV on Motor Trend Network debut for 2019 this past Sunday at 8:30 a.m. And I thought to myself, my goodness, we should have done some sort of promotion or I should have done something. And the answer is there's a whole bunch of things that have happened. And before we dive into NASCAR, the Consumer Electronics Show is this weekend. We have a lot going on. Dakar Rally is going on. The Chili Bowl's next week. The Rolex 24 is coming up. Things are happening. And I know that. And I'm feeling it. And at the end of 2018, I was spent.
Worn out.
Even just, didn't feel like talking to anything or anyone at any point. Wanted to totally disconnect.
Man, I can sure relate to that.
Didn't want to do anything. Was not into the concept. And I'm not going to, come in and I took a break. And I just decided. I said, listen, we're going to take a break. We're going to break. And we broke. And now we've broken. And now we're back. We're re-energized and reinvigorated and ready to go. It's going to be great. At least till March. And then you can check out whenever you want.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Oh, we've got the Amalie Motor Oil NHRA Gator Nationals. We've got a lot of stuff that is coming up here in 2019. I have, I guess I can announce I will be back with NHRA for 2019. The full schedule. Looking forward to it. 24 races. Very excited about that. And just.
Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't on my show sheet.
No.
I didn't even know about that.
You didn't know about that?
Well, I mean, I assumed it was going to happen, but I didn't have confirmation.
You didn't see me filling out any applications anywhere. No,
Yeah.
I agree with you, though. A lot of people assume everything, and I assume nothing. In fact, I assume the worst is what I assume if I'm going to assume anything. And so it is something that, and has now been discussed and been worked through. And so all of us...
The ins and the outs and
I will be
particulars.
there. I'll be in Pomona. I'll be in Pomona.
That
baby.
sounds confident.
Yeah. No, I'm normally I'm not. Watch it all fall apart now.
Well, I believe you are.
If it does all fall apart, though, that'll give me more time to do WFO radio stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
More shows, more stuff for the Patreons. One group of people that I did just totally leave hanging was the Patreons.
What a guy.
But I really doubted that the Patreons wanted to hear from us over the holidays. I really feel confident that they did not. We went to, we saw the Nutcracker. We've done so much.
I totally forgot about the Nutcracker. That was so last year.
It was. We're not here to talk about the past. It was good. It was fun. It was interesting.
That seems like if it was just the other day, though.
Would you go see the Nutcracker again?
No. Wait. It was wonderful. Yeah, it was great.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right. me. It got, you know what? That before that first intermission, I gotta tell you, I was going. Oh.
The whole thing about it is this: like I can't.
It's a little too she pinky up in the air.
That's
for me,
not what it is for me at all. I just view everything in the context of this was really popular before television came around.
No, okay.
If these guys had TV, would they have gone to the ballet? Would anybody have learned ballet?
What about all those kids doing the ballet and stuff? Like, those are professional dancers, actors, whatever they are.
Yes. The children from the Nutcracker.
Yeah, like, I was kind of a little taken back by the amount of children that are working on, I believe it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or whatever it was, that when we went out there during the holidays. Like, they're professional dancers.
Yes. Well, I don't know. Are they being compensated?
No. They are obviously just like kids in the movies and on TV. They have to be compensated. There's rules and regulations for that kind of stuff. But what my concern is, like, those kids were, by the way, really good. They were very, very good at their craft. Like, my son's Little League baseball team is not as good as baseball as these kids were at ballet.
Which is why we paid a lot of money to see them.
Yes, but there wasn't just children. It wasn't like a children's thing. It wasn't like we went to go see Disney on Ice. Like, there was adults and stuff. I was just a little surprised by the amount of children working professionally in this kind of trade over the holidays. Like, do these kids do this all the time? Like when do they go to school? Like, what's the story here? It's not like the Dominican that they have baseball leagues and so forth. I was a little bit kind of surprised, to be honest with you, just with the did you not notice how many kids were in this damn play thing?
Well, it's the Nutcracker, and it's about a small child on Christmas, and there's all these children all over. So I wasn't surprised.
Even if this is the only Broadway show that involves children, there's a lot of damn kids in that play.
There's a lot of kids that act and dance and do music, and there's a lot. Yeah, absolutely. And occasionally there's stories that feature a lot of children. And so you have to get children. Otherwise, it's not believable.
Thank you, Joe.
Because then grown-ups they just couldn't sell it.
No, I guess you're right.
Tom Hanks could sell it.
I was just, I got to tell you, I was a little bit taken aback by, how good these kids were. And the whole concept of it. Like, I don't know. I look at it as no. Forget
performers.
That. I just look at it as I have witnessed, and I know what it takes for a certain level of baseball acumen. These kids were they were like the professionals of Little League baseball in ballet. And by the way, we're in South Florida, so we know what some of this rigged up Little League, professional Little League baseball series are like. I don't know. I guess maybe it's just me. But I was a little bit kind of surprised
I think this time
by
it's
all
just
the kids, and how good they were. And B, it's like the amount of time that it would take for these kids to be that good at ballet. I'm just questioning what the hell's going on here.
Well, but yeah. I don't even know what to say.
All right.
Well, it's the
now
answer.
You are coming from someone who has an issue with the amount of time and effort that it takes to just go to like Little League baseball and music and art and all.
Well,
this other
exactly.
crap,
but you realize, of course, that these things have been going on for hundreds of years.
Oh, that's fine. I've only had a kid for like a handful.
Right.
Less than a decade,
exactly.
So I'm not concerned about other people's problems.
It's surprising to you but believe it or not, children have been doing things like this for hundreds of years. There have been children for hundreds of years doing all kinds of stuff. Before there was
history,
Little League baseball, they would be out chopping wood and helping their dads with the farm and tending the cows. I was 5 years old and I was milking a cow.
I understand that people had a bunch of kids because it was good, cheap labor back in the day.
That's exactly what it was.
And
it was good, cheap labor.
The
Let's have more.
sweatshops in the 80s and the whole just say no. I know how that came about.
And you end up with 10 kids, but then you don't have a wife anymore.
Uh-huh.
That's the way it was. And so these kids, they would be involved, whatever, piano. Like, how can you have a child prodigy that's not a child? You know what I mean? There's all kinds of prodigies.
No, it's obviously just me. I was just a little bit quite surprised and taken aback.
They didn't go start crying and run off the stage and lose.
Dude, these kids were good, man.
They did not
break
break
character. Professionals, man.
They didn't break character once.
I
was
was falling asleep in the seats. Like, how could these kids perform for that long and be that good at it? It was just, I don't know.
Listen,
I got to tell you, man,
I
somebody was being tortured back there or something was going on.
They want to do it, man. That's the thing is they want to do it. They do. They wanted to be there. Not one of those kids woke up that morning and said, I don't want to go. Not one of them.
Right.
Not
so
one
where
of
do they
them.
find all these kids that are that driven?
Well, they're talented. Or maybe they
We
are.
can't-
They are beaten, maybe.
Our kids don't even get going to the second or third inning.
They don't want to be
We're
there.
always down 5-1.
I don't know what to
And
say.
we're making these comebacks and have to come back from behind. These kids at the ballet, man, they're like, there's no pushing those kids.
No,
They're
you know
like,
what else? Well, wait a second. There's another. We were talking about. What did we talk about here on WFO Ignition 2019 #1? Ballet. That's what we talked about.
Look at WFO.
Well, we don't know anything about it, okay? And I'm sure, we've got Andy Crane Golf, and we've got everybody. We've got an expert out there. We've got a Grammy Award winner. Perhaps somebody out there in the WFO universe. We've got a collegiate level, I think, gymnastics instructor. You remember that guy? He's out there or something, right?
Well, this would fit right in there.
But let me dissect this. If one of those children had made a royal mistake, you wouldn't have known it. You don't know what you're looking at. You have no clue.
Whoa. Royal mistake. They would have fallen on their arse, and then
that's
we would
an
have all
epic
witnessed
fail.
it.
I mean, if this didn't happen or something landing whatever point toe.
Look,
thing,
I'm not a complete
You would not know.
ignoramus.
You wouldn't
I
know.
have visual skills, and for many years have been involved in the whole band and all that crap. And I can tell
you don't know
when
what you're
they're not marching in line and they're not keeping the line straight and all that forth. I would have been able to know.
Right,
Now,
but
if the
advanced
kid was not
stuff.
on their full toes or whatever the ballet terminology is, no, that I would not have known. But just the fact that these kids were out there performing for that long, I was bored to death falling asleep in his chair. These kids were out there working, doing stuff.
Yeah, no, they were. They were doing. Maybe we could hire them. Maybe they're available for hire. But anyway, all right, good times. Okay, so the big news.
Nutcracker, who would have thunk it?
Well, no, we never really debriefed on it. You and I, we kind of just put it in a box and
That's what happens
locked
when
it
you
away.
go WFO live on the air.
And then this thing is what popped up. It's like the wheel of topics, right? The very thin sliver that was the Nutcracker came up.
Apparently, it wasn't such a thin sliver after all.
It came up.
By the way, pretty crowded in there.
Oh my God! And I found there to be a lot of attractive women.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that was a big thing. That was a good thing, and that was Mrs. Giovanni's idea. And thanks to her, and great credit, I wouldn't have come up with that.
Oh, that wasn't going to be my idea.
No,
that's
you
for
know
sure.
what? She to give credit to Mrs. Giovanni at this moment. Not that she listens, which is good, but thank God. But also Top Golf. That was her thing too.
Oh, I guess sure that was her thing.
Oh, it wasn't? It was
you're
your
right.
thing?
No,
You
it's
going to
her
try to
thing.
take credit
You know
for
what?
Top Golf? Maybe there's something I don't know about.
Nope.
Well, I've been saying Top Golf forever, but nobody listens to me. That was great.
It was fun.
What a fantastic experience.
The WFO crew went out to the Top Golf.
NBC Sports Radio Vlad was with us.
He sure was.
He ended up winning.
Whoa, what?
Yeah.
How does Vlad win? What about my game? That didn't count?
Your score total was less than his.
Whatever. We played 2 games. Vlad won 1, and I won the other. Score insignificant in this.
I don't really remember any of that. I didn't win either. I couldn't
No, you did not.
figure out the game.
Well, actually, if you really want to get technical about it, the little guy won the second game. Once he figured out how to edit the score.
Edit score.
But anyway, if there's a Top Golf around you guys, and while at the moment we have not worked out quite a sponsorship just yet, you definitely want to go out there. This was fun.
And if you happen to be an executive at Top Golf and
about
would like
3
to
hours
support,
out there?
Yeah.
I'd say really, if it, not 3 hours, just under 3 hours. There was about 6 of us, and while it's not the cheapest thing you can do, it's well worth the money. We had food and beverage and 3 hours of entertainment, and it was not cost prohibitive. Let's just leave it at that.
No, at the per person number, definitely not. And we overindulged. I felt we went in there like starving, and we could have gone out of there for less if we tried.
No, not for hanging out for 3 hours though.
I didn't need to eat all that food. And
Oh, what food? What did you eat? Oh, you ate it. Yeah, no, that's right. You went all out and ordered food and stuff. That's
I
right.
did. I was
Yeah,
enjoying
well,
myself.
There wasn't 6 meals that were ordered, though.
It was a good time. It's a great game. It was, they want you to hit targets. I found it to be ingenious, and kind of surprised that no one has come up with this before. It's basically the bowling alley experience, except with golf.
Well, the up-to-date bowling alley experience, because this isn't the bowling alley experience of my youth.
Oh, see, I was talking about the bowling alley experience of 1978 is what I was talking about.
No, this is the
1978 bowling alley experience.
What Spares or whatever these new places. Splitsville kind of bowling alley.
Why would you think I'm talking about the 1978 bowling?
8 lanes in there, and it's really like a place to hang out and
there's
get drinks
lights, fancy
Right.
lights, and a fancy pin that comes down every once in a while. And there's a waitress/server
Yeah.
that comes and attends to you.
But anyway, Top Golf, 2 thumbs up.
And when your friend gets a gutter ball, it's like, haha, gutter ball, big deal. No, they're all the same. But when your friend shanks it and it hits the roof and rattles into the next lane and almost kills somebody, now that's big-time fun.
Or when you're in the second level of a 3-level building and the balls are just dropping from the people upstairs that can't play worth a crap.
Oh, yeah. That's where you really – well, most people can't play worth a crap. That's the best part about it.
Well, we can't play, but at least we could hit the ball. We were hitting them out there. We weren't necessarily hitting the targets, but we were getting them out there.
Well, that was my big problem, and why I lost is because I kept
You kept slicing it towards the right somehow. I don't know what was going on with it.
That's what a slice is. A slice
or that was
to the
on
right.
purpose, or what was going on there, but it was just like –
Well,
right turn, Clyde.
I was opening the club face, and here's what happened. I mean, Andy Crane Golf will probably be listening very intently at this moment. And what was happening is I wasn't aiming at anything. I was just trying to hit it out there. I was just trying to hit the ball like that way, where the targets are, and it'll go in one of the targets. And as the game was going on, I found out I was overhitting, and I was opening up my swing, and it was going, man, it was slicing badly. And then finally I realized I'm going to aim at the pin, man. And I started to rattle up the points, but it was too late, and I ended up losing. Top Golf, go. It's cool. Fun experience. Do they have Top Golf? What about in Alabama and in South Carolina? Do they have that?
No, but they could just watch the national championship game. What else are those fine friends of ours going to do?
Interesting. And here's the halftime show is now on.
Oh, yeah? Who's that? Is that the Weekend or something?
I don't know. It's the Weekend. It could be the Weekend.
No. The
Who is that
Weekend's
guy?
a little more dark complected. I think that's now I have no clue just by looking at him, but to be fair, earlier on I feel like if I saw somewhere that said Imagine Dragons was going to be the halftime activity.
This information is available on the interweb.
Well, what do you need the web for when you got me?
Well, if you're telling me that that's what's up, then I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you. This is Imagine Dragons right here, that guy?
That's what I feel. Yep.
Wow. Great. And they dress the same? Is that their thing? They're like Millie and Vanilli?
I have no clue. I mean, I know Imagine Dragons. I know one of their songs, but other than that.
There you go.
Right.
And at this moment, I'm going to say a big thank you and what's up to all of our great sponsors, including Hussey Performance, CatSpotLitter.com, Rodax. It was Marvin Rodak's birthday yesterday.
I did see that.
Happy birthday to Marvin Rodak. And, of course, Marvin has been a great sponsor for a long time. Hopefully a lot of you got in on the holiday packs for the holidays and did real well. Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, samtech.edu, motorsportsguys.com. Hanks Defers Metalworking Lubricants, audible.com/WFO Nitro, all helping out WFO Radio. And, of course, you want to check them out. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Then we're going to come back and get very serious about what's going on, man. What's up, all the different things. Daniel Suarez to Stewart Haas Racing and Maurizio Arrivabene being forced out at Ferrari. And a big change at the top. Like, we should be I don't know. I think we should be excited about this. This is, what is it? Hope springs eternal. And now.
But what was wrong? I'm sorry. Like, this guy presided over the best of the last decade.
Yes, and yet there's a story. We'll get into it. Why? And this guy, what is it? Matteo Bonatti?
I believe it's something to that extent. I'm not.
Yeah. I had it written down. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it.
I got
it's
it.
with Gio's notes. Gio's notes back
right
at the.
Here. It's
Pinotto.
Binotto.
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 You know these Italians with all those
vowels
in their
terrible.
names.
All the vowels.
Not
but
that Gio would know anything about that.
Regardless, this guy's got a good rep, too. He's got a good rep.
Well, I don't know if you've seen what he looks like.
Oh, I think he looks very smart.
Is it the glasses that make him look smart?
The whole
is that what
thing.
It is? The
he
black
looks,
frame glasses?
He looks very smart,
but,
yes.
Because, Arriva Bennett looked like a gangster, to be honest with you.
He looked even more like, he looked not even a gangster, like a explorer. Arriva Bene has a real distinct look. This guy has a very distinct look of a totally different kind. Like you've got, kind of nerdy glasses, Italian Einstein guy. And then you've got, fashion designer, sword play, setting sail across the sea kind of guy or mob boss. But they both are very distinctive looking characters. But anyway, Arriva Bene is out.
Arriva Bene had the Frank Vincent look,
Yeah. Since you're mentioning Billy Bats.
Right. And we could get into it later because
The Sopranos
that was
are on.
one of the Sopranos marathon now that yesterday I got caught up in there and ended up watching like 5 freaking episodes.
Thank
you very much.
Which one did you see? Did you see
From
Pine Barrens?
From Pine Barrens on when you sent the picture of Bobby Bacala and the orange thing. How could I not go turn on and watch at that point?
Thank God somebody got in on it with me because I got sucked in twice yesterday.
He's an interior decorator. His place looked like crap.
Just so great. So great. And there you go. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. WFO podcast. Right now, you should be diving to click subscribe. We'll be back after this.
This is WFO Radio.
Hey, everybody. How do you start your day? You started off with a little coffee. And do you want something cheap and vacuum-packed, garbage? You want to pay for a retail coffee? It's like $11. Or do you want something that is good, like RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com? Join the Rodax Army. WFO users and listeners know all about it. Over 40 grades to choose from. This is roasted fresh per your order, not to mention hot sauce, spice rub. You got to call Marvin, get on the phone line, or go to the website, RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com. Check it out. That's RodaxCoffeeandGrills.com.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the blockhead and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets. You got to call David directly. 724-318-8292. Hussey Performance Copperhead Gaskets for you engine builders out there. These guys are supporting WFO. Check them out. It is husseyperformance.net.
Subscribe to WFO Radio on iTunes. Never miss a show. And don't forget to write a review. WFO.
Now, back to WFO Radio Ignition.
WFO Radio Ignition, number 1 for 2019. And yeah, some news today. Stewart Haas Racing assigned Daniel Suarez to drive in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. And number 41, Ford Mustang. Remember, the Mustang is the Ford ride, and the Camaro is the Chevy ride, and some changes, like pony cars, fully inactuated.
Well, I mean, it's
from Mustang,
pony-looking cars.
Pony, the hood and fenders. The 2019 season will mark Suarez's third year He was our guest in the fan zone at Homestead Miami Speedway.
That's right.
I got to say, he was a nice kid, right? The year previous, he did not show.
We're very grateful that he showed up.
Right. Suarez says it's the best birthday present I could ask for.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, by the way.
We've all seen how competitive Stewart-Haas Racing is. All of their drivers won last year, and all of them advanced deep into the playoffs. This is the opportunity every driver wants. Now I have it. I want to deliver for this team, our partners in Haas Automation, Arison Ford, and ultimately for me. We have everything we need to be successful. I like that. And Tony Stewart goes on to say, in each series Daniel has raced in, he's advanced quickly from rookie to race winner. In 4 years, he went from K&N Series to NASCAR Cup Series. In between, he won an Xfinity Series championship. He did it all while learning a new language and a new culture. Did he really just learn? I don't believe that.
A new language or
yeah,
a new culture?
In 4 years. Really? The kid we spoke to just learned English?
No.
I don't think so, man.
No,
Too good.
Man, this kid's educated, and educated kids learn multiple languages in school is all I'm going to go as far as saying.
Exactly. Unless he's learned the language of, like, Southern American. Maybe that's what Tony's talking
Rosetta
about.
Stone. I get it. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about now.
Right. But Babbel is now the new thing, the app.
Huh?
The big app that they have. Rosetta Stone didn't get an app, and this other company's got an app, and they're killing them now. I don't even hear about Rosetta Stone anymore.
Blah, blah, blah.
App? Those things on your phones?
I know about the apps.
You know that they have
I just
apps
don't
that
pay
help
for
learn
them
language? You still don't pay for apps, huh?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't pay for anything. I didn't mean that the way it quite sounded.
So cheap.
I don't pay for anything that I can get for free, kind of like why buy the milk or the cow, the milk,
I haven't paid for an app in a long
so
time.
She told me a story about free milk and a cow.
I haven't paid for an app in a long time.
And then
I haven't downloaded an app in a long time.
No, I got a bunch of video games and kid apps on my phone. I don't know other than that. And
Tony finishes up by saying he's dedicated, he's talented, and we're proud to have him as a key part of our race team. And there you go, Daniel Suarez to Stewart-Haas Racing.
Sponsorship, kind of like Danica did back in the day. And
Well,
so why are we going to tell him no?
I am under the impression that Aris International is directly connected to the family business.
Well, no, he's not related to the Slim guy and all that. But,
But they're directly connected.
It's not.
No one can see you making a face on the
I don't exactly
podcast.
know the particulars, but
Nor do I. But my connections tell me that they are close.
Right.
It's not like a random deal. Like, hey, let's get a sponsorship from you. Here's a proposal.
Well, it's not complete random, but kind of like this girl had the Sitco sponsorship.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, no,
although she
worse,
wasn't
worse.
related to Sitco.
Worse than that. Like, no, that's worse than this. This is like, Mexico.
Right.
And that is Venezuela.
Yeah. Well,
so what do you mean? On the scale of, on the corruption scale, or whatever you want to call it.
There's not much difference. It's all the same.
It's not. It's not. Venezuela is much worse.
I don't mean the corruption scale, but anyway.
What do you mean? That
That's
Hugo
what I was
Chavez was taking national oil money. He basically nationalized everything and took the money and sponsors Milka.
But that's not what I was getting at.
What were you getting?
It was Milka, Venezuelan, Sitco, Venezuelan, as to Aris, money, and Daniel Suarez being Venezuelan. That's it.
But Daniel Suarez is
nothing
not
to do with the
Venezuelan.
corruption that goes on in certain countries.
Suarez is Mexican.
Yes, Suarez, Mexican, Aris money, Carlos Slim money connected to Mexico, whereas the Sitco money connected to Venezuela. That's all. That's the analogy I was trying to make. That they're from the same country where the money's coming from.
Got it.
And a big company, but not necessarily that they're related to the ownership of that company.
Not blood related.
Yeah, not a familial relationship. Yes, that is correct.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know exactly what the nature of the Aris Daniel Suarez relationship is. But they're sticking with him, like, real well. And I think that the kid has, look at Joey Logano. Joey Logano, I think, is a perfect example of you don't want to give up on someone too soon. And Joey Logano has, he came in with all this great talent and ability, and a lot of people wrote him off. And he goes on to become a, Cup Series champion before he's 30 years old. And so Daniel Suarez, everything that Tony Stewart just said, I agree with. I don't think you can, especially if he's bringing money. I mean, my goodness, no brainer. And so Suarez is going to go out there, and, is he going to get a race win? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Didn't Almirola get a win? He sure did.
Yes, he did. And there it is. You go to
Well,
Stuart
we're going
Haas.
to go out on a limb here and predict that Suarez is going to get one win, if not two, this year.
It's like
How about
Oprah.
that?
Everybody gets a win.
New car.
Right. Bass Pro Shop's going to sponsor Truex for Joe Gibbs Racing. That makes sense. They've had a long-standing
Yeah, that's
relationship.
not surprising at all.
Why would you? And Martin Truex, come on. He's had a great run the past couple of years. Been doing very well. And that pretty much concludes the NASCAR portion of our show.
Well, the Xfinity
listen,
Series is about to go down.
No, they're not going down. But but Roush is not going to run in the Xfinity.
And neither is Ganassi.
Yeah. I think that is, if you look at the headlines, it definitely looks bad. Roush Fenway will not field Xfinity team. Chip Ganassi Racing shutting down Xfinity team. That having been said, I mean, it's hard to say this is good, but the whole point of the Xfinity Series is to be a feeder series to the highest levels. And when you've got all the exact same teams feeding in, that's not good. That's not good. It's not good for creating talent. It's not good for the health of the sport. And I think we found that out because once upon a time we talked about the Xfinity Series, and now we really don't very much because
it's kind of uninteresting.
It's not that it's uninteresting. I think there's just so much discussion points in the Cup Series that keep us satiated. We're interested. Like when we did Yankee Roll Call, we did 2 minutes on Farm System Frenzy.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, who's coming up? Aaron Judge. Oh, that's cool. Can't wait till he gets to the bigs. And that's it.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got a friend or a family member that's in the Xfinity Series, you're sitting on the couch on a Saturday afternoon, of course you're into it. You're going to watch it. When I was at NASCAR Radio, I watched every single truck race, every single Xfinity race, every single Cup Series race for several seasons. And, you really get into the flow of everything that's going on. Obviously, it's your job. It's great to have that job and position. And you get the vibe of the race. But I don't think there are very many fans that are out there doing that. That's a lot of racing to be watching every week. Like 8 hours worth.
Yeah, who's got that kind of time?
Well, it's exactly what you said early. Like time is precious nowadays. Just to have time.
Keeps on ticking into the future.
Into the future. It keeps on ticking into the future. So we were starting to talk about the whole big change at Ferrari at the top in Formula One, and I think that it's. I wanted to read the story because it gives a couple of interesting. Like, where did you see that Arriva Bene led by fear, like something like that?
I think that was like. I believe it was an article that might have been written by Will Buxton. I saw it like on Twitter or something. If I had to say.
Frightened people. So here we go. Obviously we're big Haas F1 fans, and we can't wait for the debut of the big Haas F1 2019 entry, whenever that goes down. But this is, I would call it the news of the year so far in Formula One.
Well, I think it's the only news so far, so yes, I would totally agree.
Right, news of the year so far. And the news of the show so far is that I think you should, and maybe you have already, you could send out a phones are open now.
Sure.
Over the holidays, we were like, hey, phones are open, wide open phones. Not enough people took us up on that.
And that's why we had to take a couple weeks off to just clear our heads.
Right. It's not like we're punishing the audience. Don't mistake that. But if you take it that way, then I understand. But, yeah, send out the push. Let's see what happens. While I read this right from the Formula One website. A major shakeup at Ferrari was expected after initial reports in Italy of a management restructure. And the Scuderia has now confirmed Maurizio Arrivabene has been replaced as team principal by Matteo Binotto.
Bye, Maurizio.
He steps up from his role as technical director. The prancing horse. What is it? Cavallino Rampante, I believe is the way some say it. Have opted to make the change after a tough 2018 campaign, which saw them fail to win either title despite a promising start of the season, with Mercedes securing a fifth successive double world championship. Think about that. 5 in a row, double world championships for Silver Arrows. Awful. A Ferrari statement after 4 years of untiring commitment and dedication. Maurizio Arrivabene is leaving the team. His decision was taken together with the company's top management after lengthy discussions related to Maurizio's long-term personal interests as well as those of the team itself. That's political talk right there for you. Ferrari would like to thank Maurizio for his valuable contribution to the team's increasing competitiveness over the past few years and wish him the best for his future endeavors. Now get out. You're fired. You may notice I am adding a little bit of my own stuff to this. With immediate effect, Matteo Binotto will take over as Scuderia Ferrari's team principal. All technical areas will continue to report directly to Matteo. It is understood that there were tensions between Arrivabene, who has been chief of the iconic team since December 2014, and Binotto last season, with the former under increasing pressure amid a string of team errors over the course of 2018. Exactly. The chances of leadership change increased when John Elkann took over as president of Ferrari midway through the last term following Sergio Marchionne's death. You may remember that one. And the change was confirmed on Monday, with Binotto now tasked with leading Ferrari's quest to return to their heydays. Binotto has risen through Ferrari's ranks over the last 2 decades and has been credited with the Italian team's power unit gains after he took over as power unit chief operating officer ahead of 2015. Think about that. And this is what amazes me so much about Formula One. And I love this photograph that they've got, because you've got Arrivabene and you've got Binotto, and Arrivabene has got like an ascot. You know, this guy's got an ascot on, man. Come on. It's a red Ferrari Racing red ascot. The King of Nothing calls me, and he's like, Joey, we got to get ascots.
Of course.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. Where are we going to wear these ascots? We live in Florida. It's always hot. He's like, I don't know, but I think if we all wore ascots, it would be cool.
Of course.
I don't even know where you get an ascot. I mean, the web, of course. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. Get an ascot.
Isn't that where you get everything? And some drone will just drop it off?
Exactly, it will. But the fact that the power unit portion of the car has a chief operating officer, you know, we call it an engine, call it a power unit. He's the chief operating officer over power unit.
So he's in charge of engine development.
Well, we call it a manager. Call it he's in charge of engine development, but he picked up the pace, and they did good. The news first reported at La Gazzetta dello Sport on Monday comes after Ferrari again lost out to Mercedes in the battle. We don't need to rehash all of that. And there it is. So a change at the top for the Scuderia. I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot going on. The Dakar Rally, do you know where they race now? Do you even know?
In Dakar?
No. It's Peru, man. Peru, the terrorists. They chased them all out of northern Africa, and they've been in South America now for several years. And we haven't really – there was a time where we covered it when Robbie Gordon was racing, and we had, like, you know, some sort of personal connection in there, like a guy that we could root for. But it has kind of fallen off the map with me, and I've decided I'm going to pay attention this year.
Go for it.
Yeah. Toyota Gazoo Racing South Africa driver Nasser Al-Attiyah.
Did you say the Great Gazoo?
Yes, Toyota Gazoo topped the opening stage in the 2019 Dakar Rally in Peru. The Qatari completed the dune-populated 52-mile time stage near Pisco, which came after a lengthy road section that started on the Peruvian capital of Lima, not Lima, Ohio. Lima, Peru. And there it is. There is your Dakar Rally report on WFO. What, not enough?
It's plenty for me.
Right. The Chili Bowl is over the course of the weekend.
I like a good chili.
Yes?
Who doesn't?
Lucas Oil Chili Bowl Nationals presented by General Tire. And there's over 300 entries. Everyone's going. And, a lot of our listeners, and I will be checking out the Chili Bowl, assuming I am, around and in front of the television at that time. But really what's going on is Christopher Bell is looking for 3 in a row. And just looking at the past champions, Kevin Swindell, Brian Clausen, may he rest in peace, Rico, Chris Bell. And here we are in 2019. Did you make a New Year's resolution? Do you do that? Are you resolute to make a change of some sort to your person or your character?
Why mess with perfect, really? I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? But I guess
true.
If you're going to, put me here on the spot on the show at a point where you're asking me to come up with something, for...
Well, I don't want you to make something up that's not true. Like, hey, I've decided I'm going to do show prep and do a better job working on this.
No, I'm just, generally I'm going to wake up and do a couple of rails and get life going a lot faster than I normally do. Is that what you want to hear?
Rails?
No. Look, if I have to resolve to do anything in life this year, yes, I strive to be more consistent. And that's it. Just more consistent. Across the board, what it entails to be consistent in every aspect of my life will help me out.
Consistency.
Yes, less peaks and valleys,
yeah.
With not deal with the craziness that is here with you and at home with the 8-year-old and Mrs. Gio, and just be able to be more consistent with all the outside influence that's constantly acting upon my normal, joyous, wonderful self that does not allow me to be joyous and wonderful all the time. So I strive to be more consistent on all those outside forces acting upon me, causing me to be, however I am and how I am perceived to be by the outside world.
Well, I got to tell you, that is a very in-depth...
How is that deep, huh?
Yeah.
Deep, deep undercover for you.
Well,
on
I was not
the
expecting
first show.
I know. I'm kind of interested. You obviously spent some time thinking about it.
Absolutely not. I'm just in a right state of mind right now.
Wow. So did anyone talk to you about your inconsistency?
No, I don't.
Oh.
First of all, as you know, I am very, well, you may or may not know, really.
I'm unaware.
I am actually very, very self-aware.
Of your inconsistency?
Of everything. I am self-aware of all my deficiencies and the things that I am, fairly good at and not good at. But, I can, again, self-awareness. Not a trait that everyone has. I know what my issues are. And so I strive to be a more consistent Geo. And that's it. How about that?
Well, I think it's positive.
By the way, I got nothing else to say for the rest of the show because it's not going to get better than this. See you later. I'm Costanza. Out of here.
Later, buddy. Later, buddy. So what's happening right now is the national championship game is in commercial. But they have been teasing a prolonged trailer for Captain Marvel. For those of you that are interested in the Avengers and the Marvel comic universe, and this is the first really long trailer for the movie, and it is going to be all over. There's a whole whole secret society of comic book geeks that are very into this, and I'm not one of them, but I like the movies, and this Captain Marvel is supposedly the biggest thing that's ever happened. And the trailer is ongoing. Somehow she's going to save the world against Thanos. Which, are you familiar with any of that? Did you see the final Avengers?
No.
Really?
No.
Do you know about Iron Man?
That he's like a big red metallic figure played by Robert.
No, I'm talking
Downey
about
Jr.
Yes.
Who is best known for his role in Less Than Zero.
Oh, is he? I thought. Come on, man. Weird Science. He was one of the bad guys.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he is Weird Science. He's most known for that role.
Yeah,
that's
Chet.
Number one. Not Chet. He wasn't Chet.
No, I know he wasn't Chet.
That was
but
Bill
now
Paxton.
I'm thinking,
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton was Chet.
Was Chet.
Yeah, I know.
And Robert Downey Jr. was the bad guy. Maybe you had Bill.
I mean, bad guys.
You had Bill. Well, he was. He was very mean. They dumped that stuff on Gary and Wyatt. It was not necessary to try to humiliate those young boys.
But maybe they went to school together.
Maybe you were thinking of Bill Paxton as the bad guy in the opening scene of Terminator.
Or an alien.
When he was one of the punks. You know, and Arnold goes over, give me your clothes.
God.
Hey, man, I'm not going to give you my clothes. And then Arnold kills him.
That'll do it.
Do we have any other obscure references to well-known actors that played bit parts in movies from our childhood? That's 2 in a row, man. We only need one more.
Oh, I could just bust out with some Free Jack kind of reference.
I think you're kind of milking that one a little too much. Milking it a little bit. We had a rash of deaths a couple of weeks ago. Remember that? A bunch of people died. It all happened in threes. I don't even remember who they were.
Well, people die every day, but
no, they were celebrities. It was big. I know Captain from Captain and Tennille passed away.
Oh, yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
And there were 2 other ones. They were all connected, and I don't have them. You know what it is?
Won't be seeing them no more.
Well, you know what it is? It's funny. Everything moves so fast now. Everything. Like, literally, what happened last week is unknown. It's gone off the map. You're not thinking about it. You don't. There's no recollection of it. You don't retain it. At least I don't. And I don't. Maybe it's because of the social media or something. You post something and then you just forget it. Whereas back in the day, I don't know, would ponder it. You'd go get your photos developed and you'd look at them like, oh, look at this. Remember this that we did 2 weeks ago? Yeah, we did this. This was cool. Look at this picture. Wow. You don't do that anymore. You pop the pictures, put it in your pocket. You never go back and look. Do you go back and look at the pictures that you've taken?
Generally, no, unless I have to send them to Mrs. Geo for whatever it is she does with pictures.
And then that's it. Then she does something with them. You don't know what
I just find myself uploading them to somewhere, or downloading them, or whatever, downloading them onto my computer, whatever storage device, because my phone is always full. Because some crazy little 8-year-old is always not buying because he doesn't get to buy them, but downloading video game apps on my phone.
Got it.
Actually, you know what? I just had a moment of clarity. I'm just going to delete his apps. And whenever he wants a new one, he can just download it again. Like, for real, like 30% of my phone is taken up by this kid. He's got a whole page full of his, toy apps on my phone.
You know, most of our audience don't even have children.
Oh, I disagree.
They don't care about
this. The vast majority of them do.
They don't care about your issues.
It's not caring about it.
They all said, when you said that, they said I heard them. They said, you should have got the bigger one. You should have got the bigger phone.
Well, I'm going to have to speak to my
Everybody
superiors.
knows you got to get the bigger one.
I'm going to have to talk about getting a phone allowance somewhere.
Well, you know what's going on? You should do that. The Consumer Electronics Show is going on right now. I believe it just started today.
Is that the one out in Vegas?
It is.
Why aren't you there? Aren't you there? Aren't you a Consumer Electronics Show
I'm
kind of guy?
I'm a consumer, and I like electronics. Yeah, I guess I could be there. I don't know. Would we have fun at that? Is that us? I think that's kind of cool. There's going to be a podcast trade show in Orlando in August. I was thinking about maybe going to that.
It'll probably coincide with you being out of town.
It is. It does.
Of course it does.
Yeah. Not really. I could go do one day. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Wednesday I travel to Brainerd.
Ah.
So I could go up for the day and do
But what kind of a...
I don't know.
What kind of a convention is held on a Tuesday and Wednesday, really?
Podcast convention.
Exactly. Generally these things run Thursday, Friday, Saturday, towards the end of the weekend.
It's during the week. It's like midweek.
Yeah, sounds
the convention center, I guess, was busy for bigger stuff.
Must have been.
Yeah. This one coming from NBC News, Alyssa Newcomb. Innovation is taking center stage this week in Las Vegas, where thousands of companies are exhibiting new tech gadgets, devices, and ideas at CES. The Consumer Technology Association, the trade group that runs CES, is expecting 182,000 people to attend the show this year. Among them will be 4,400 companies exhibiting their products, hoping to impress investors, analysts, and media. Since its formation, CES has always been a proving ground, not only for products that will come to market, but those that could come to market, that will come to market, those that could come to market, says Patrick Moorhead. He's the principal analyst at More Insights and Strategy. It sounds like a company he probably owns. Here's a look at some of the big themes analysts expect will be dominating the conversation this year at CES. See, I think this is interesting because this tells us what's next in the world. For instance, new form factors. What do you think of that, Gio? Form factors that are new. What does this mean? LG's rollable TV was the star of last year's show and is reportedly getting ready to ship to consumers this year. Expect to see other bold ideas like this, including dual and foldable displays.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Dual and foldable displays. Historically, when new and successful form factors arise, those companies who stake a leadership position end up staying there for a while, make a lot of money, and receive innovation credit helping the brand. Recent examples include Apple with the tablet, iPad, Lenovo with the convertible PC. I did not know that was a Lenovo thing. Microsoft with the detachable PC, and Samsung with the phablet smartphone, the big phone. The stakes are high with new form factors, says Moorhead. We're going to see a little bit more of the same. It won't be, oh, wow, this is some crazy new tech. It's building on progress. That's kind of cool. Foldable screen.
That seems pretty interesting.
Oh, wow. Clemson is, what is it? Are they icing it here with this?
The Clues are running away with it.
Wow.
The Clues.
Now you call them the Clues.
The
Why?
Clues.
Nobody knows why.
Because of the paw print.
Is like what?
It's like a blues clue, but it's an orange clue.
It's like an orange clue. There it is.
Those of you that may have had children in the last 2 decades or so may know about the Blues Clues, which is that little puppy with the blue paw print. And my son, as soon as he saw the paw print, was asked about the Clues. And he has been rooting for the Clues over Alabama for many moons now. The Clues.
The Clues? Well, it looks like the Clues are going to get one in here.
It looks like it to me, and couldn't be happier over here on this side of the
South Carolina, taking down Alabama.
I have no interest where they are geographically located. I am only interested in numbers. Only interested in numbers.
There you go.
+6, 56 and over.
Did you get your over?
Not yet, but it's getting close.
Okay, all right.
I mean, it's only the third quarter.
No, I know.
But it appears to be that they got about 54 points now, so
next score.
we just need another touchdown, not
That's
just
it.
next score. Sorry, 53 pending the extra point, but yeah. So if I get another touchdown, we'll be the show might as well be over because the celebration is
celebration. Okay, back to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Software and platforms. Sure, smartphone. I'm just reading the article, like do you have a use for a foldable screen?
Not really.
What about the roll-up screen?
Like overbearing.
But I think it's going to be interesting. Not on a phone. I mean, on the wall. That's what's cool about it.
But foldable, I guess. I don't know. I just got used to the TV being on the wall, and now you want to fold it and make me get a new one? Like, what's wrong with you? I thought you were my friend.
That's how far behind you are.
I just got the TV up on the wall. Finally got the bracket. The thing's been standing on on something.
We were
else.
just admiring. Gio just got rid of the whole transition from big screen
projection
model projection TV to flat panel on the wall TV has gone. It's been like a 5-year transition, I would say.
Oh, it's been a lot less than that. It's been very recent.
You got that freebie one though that was up there. That was up there for like 3 or 4 years.
You are correct.
And it was on the wall, but it was giant, behemoth, weighed like
10,000 pounds. It took 2 people to carry it.
It was huge. Huge. And now you've got a really great TV just in time to find out it's totally antiquated and you need to fold your television now and put it in your pocket.
Talk about the Jetsons.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Thank you.
Software and platforms. Sure, smartphones are getting bigger and TVs are getting thinner, but it's no longer just about the actual device, but the experience people can have using it, according to Werner Gertz, a research director at Gartner. This year, advancements in artificial intelligence software and platforms will set the trend at CES. He said Samsung is already showing this with the announcement that it's bringing iTunes movies and TV shows along with Apple AirPlay 2 to its smart TVs, negating the need to buy an Apple TV. Bang! Look at that, Samsung. That is an awesome feature. Man, does your TV have that?
No.
No. Gotta get a new one, man. Oh,
but Apple doesn't make TV. They just make that little box.
But that's what they're saying is they're building it into the Samsung TVs.
Interesting.
Which
now, I will tell you, the TV that I have is Samsung, and it is fairly new, but the interface is very, very, very good. The whole getting on the online and the apps compared to the TV I previously had, which was, a couple of year old model.
Well, let me tell you, that is where it really, like every year they get better and better. I have a Sony. Now we're talking TVs, folks. This is WFO. I have a Sony in the bedroom that I got like 3 years ago. And it's got the apps and it's got everything, but you could tell they were just like, getting started with it. And then the one that I have in the living room has Google. It's Sony partnered with Google, and Google is doing it. It's got an Android operating system basically, and it's good. But I really liked yours. I think that yours is by far.
It's a little more user friendly.
It does seem more user friendly, like the bouncing around. But we have been talking about cutting the cord now for a while. And
I'm a little bit ahead of you on this because I've had it up to here with.
Well, the time is. Well, I got off the DirecTV and now I'm on this Uverse, but I think I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think it's the time is now. The problem is stable internet. Look, I can't even stay connected all the time. The TVs are not picking up the internet. The internet is not stable enough.
Well,
not
in
here,
this particular situation, we need to figure out whether your situation is the distance from the.
Well, it's definitely
internet
part
coming
of that.
into your house,
yes,
or it's the internet coming into the house. So we need to isolate that issue.
Well, I got my parents a repeater thing, a signal booster, a good one.
Those of you out there that are not in bed with the cable company or with the AT&T or with one of the major providers, we need your feedback because I got to tell you, I've got one foot in the grave in this, sort of speak.
No, what about this YouTube deal that they've got? A lot of people are talking about this, the PlayStation View thing is super cheap. Hawkins stuff has got that. You turn it on, you turn it off, you a la carte. It's like $30 a month, and you get everything. You get all the same stuff.
Same thing. A lot of these, the Amazon has got a bunch of stuff on there, and if you want to get HBO through them, you get it through them for whatever HBO charges, $15 or $20.
Right. See, but you mentioned interface. Sony is traditionally bad at interface. Like, if you mess with a PlayStation, you could see it's like, what were they thinking? This is just bad. Whereas Apple is good with interface, right? Your Samsung is good with user-friendly, intuitive. Like, this is how it should work, and it does. Whereas a lot of stuff isn't that way. And so Amazon, horrible interface. It's like a nightmare. Beep, 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 clicking and moving around. It's just terrible. And that's where success and failure is going to be. So anyway, back to this. The hardware devices will become the tools and channels of consumption rather than the source of value creation, whatever that means. The only problem with that stuff is if you're a channel surfer, like when you were surfing to find Bobby Bacala, like I told you that it was on by sending the photo of Bobby Bacala. Dressed
that's
gear.
Exactly what it was, yeah.
Right.
And I knew what exactly.
But there are, like, the whole concept of channel surfing, up, down, flipping around. How do you think I found, like, Wings of the Luftwaffe? Like, all those great shows was just, like, flipping around and finding.
Heist? Were you talking about the heist?
No, not the Lufthansa heist. Voice assistants. Speaking of platforms, expect Google and Alexa to have a presence again at this year's show. Kohler even has a luxurious, intelligent toilet that works with Alexa. Pause. Are you kidding me? That right there. No, listen. That is a sign of something bad coming. Like, I don't know if it's like Marie Antoinette, whatever it is, but that the folks at Kohler got into a meeting. You know, Kohler makes sinks. Kohler makes a lot of stuff. Kohler makes small engines. Kohler.
Yeah, faucets.
They decide, you know what we need? We need a premium toilet. You know, like the kind of thing people will spend like, you know, 10 grand on. What can we do with the toilet? It doesn't matter. We just got to have a toilet that someone can spend 10 grand on. Well, what can this toilet do? Well, it can take the poop away and put it into the plumbing system. No, it's got to do more than that. Let's have it be intelligent and have it work with Alexa. What would the Alexa-enabled super toilet say?
Clappers.
Right. What would it say? Good morning, Gio. I'm noticing your movement is not as firm as normally is. Have you considered? May I recommend a dietary change? Do you really want your toilet having Alexa? And Alexa's always listening. That's
the scary part.
What does the intelligent toilet do with the sounds that you are making on the toilet? Not good, man. Not good at all. I'm against it. 5G. The major U.S. carriers have all said they plan to roll out 5G, the quicker, more robust next-generation wireless technology, in 2019. Analysts expect CES to focus on enhancements in 5G when it comes to smart home, wearables, enterprise products. But the bigger news will likely come at next month's Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, the Mobile World Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that, 5G. Like, don't you think, like, once that gets fast enough, we won't even need the home Wi-Fi? Right? Once that gets fast enough, everything's just going to be wireless. You won't even need anything. Your TV will have a AT&T plan.
Yeah, or your mobile plan will run your TV or whatever they figure out how to do it. Yeah.
It's all going to be floating in the air. CarTech, for years, CES has...
These companies are all still the same. They're all going to be interchangeable, whether Google sells us the internet or AT&T or Verizon or whomever. It has slowly shifted. Remember, AT&T was the phone company, the long distance.
Yeah, and they broke up the bells, man.
Well, that was many moons ago. And
then they all came back together.
But they've gone from selling us the phone thing to selling us the mobile phone to selling us internet to selling us the data on our phones when that used to be the free stuff. You know, they just figure out what it is that people are going to, and instead of giving you that for free, now they charge you for that. Remember, when we first got the cell phones, it was they charged you for the talking on the phone, and you had free unlimited text and data because nobody used that stuff. And now over the years, they've given you unlimited phone access again, and they charge you now for the data. There's no more,
there's unlimited data. I have unlimited data.
There's a couple of unlimited data.
Extra $10 a month to have unlimited data.
They throttle it when you get to a certain limit and so forth.
Yeah.
Look, man.
Everybody hates all of that.
They're in the business of sticking their hand in our pocket and getting as much as they can. And whether it's AT&T or Amazon or whomever it is, there's always going to be one of these telecommunication-type companies getting us for as much as they can. When we used to have just a regular phone, it was, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month for whatever the phone was. Now they got you for $50 for your cell phone, $100 for your internet, $50 for the house phone, which most of us don't have anyway, or what have you. But
I have one.
But exactly, when the AT&T, phone Bell South or whatever bill used to be $40, $50, $70, $80.
Well, I have no idea what it.
Now it's almost $3.
Oh yeah, no, it's big. It's big, but and that's what the constant battle is to eliminate, to eliminate. Come on, $300 a month for just telecommunications, various. Let's call it that. But at the same time, though, you're getting so much more.
Yes.
You're getting so much more. You're getting WFO for free. Unless you're Patreon, in which case. Car Tech. So anyway, for years, CES has been a tech show that happens to have a massive car show. It's been the place where new electric cars, including the Nissan Leaf and various self-driving concepts, have made their debuts. This year, expect further conversion of the automobile to entertainment, dining, and office platform with increased electrification, safety, and personalization, says Moorhead. And there will be plenty of discussion around flying car concepts, even if that's many years away from becoming a reality. Yeah, right, not buying on it. Flying cars ain't happening. It's not happening.
Yeah, I just heard something about that today.
What, flying cars?
Yeah.
And? Oh, this is the one. Ready? 8K TVs.
Wait, where did you just jump from 5K to 8K?
Well, from 4K. No, that was 5G. This is 8K.
Whatever. Dude.
Yeah, because there's 4K. You have a 4K TV. I have a 4K.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You know, I don't even
You have 4K. You do. You have 4K. The problem is there's no 4K programming. There's very little 4K programming. Like, so this game might be available in 4K.
So you're telling me kind of like when HD first came out?
Yes.
And that we had the HD TV and there was just nothing except that the HD net?
Yeah, a couple of basic channels, HD channels.
That there was like 3 channels that we got in HD.
Yes. I remember one of the first shows that I was watching. First of all, the conversion to HD was like a space race. I was on the cutting edge of that deal. I wanted to be one of the first to have HD TV because it was so much better. And I got it pretty early on, not as early as some, but pretty early on. And I remember one of the great documentaries that was available on HD. And what was interesting is it was actually these old films of nuclear tests, you know, A-bomb tests out in Nevada, which I went to the Nuclear Test Museum this last time I was in Vegas. It was very interesting to see all the stuff. You can actually go out to the sites and see where the bombs went off and all. But anyway, it was cool seeing like the Trinity blast and everything in HD, and I would sit there and watch on my amazing rear projection big screen TV with component video because HDMI did not exist.
Wow.
Right. And now 4K, our TVs are capable of it, and there's barely any programming, and yet they're busting out 8K. Expect to see some of the first 8K televisions ready for consumers at this year's CES. The resolution is 7680 by 4320.
So much.
4 times better than a 4K TV. But that kind of resolution doesn't come cheap. Samsung started selling its first 8K TV in the U.S. last year for a cool $15,000. 8K.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, but what are you watching in 8K?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Available.
Nothing's available in 8K. And by the way, do I even want to see people in 8K? Like, do I want to see anything in 8K? Like, what am I looking at? The Grand Canyon? Well, I'll go to the Grand Canyon. 8K?
I mean, how much better can it get, really? Right now,
32K.
No, not even
14,000.
You're looking at it, and it looks sometimes better than real life does.
Yes, this TV, I got it at Tiger Direct. It's called Spectre. It cost $200. It's like 42 inches, and it's been going, man. Knock on wood. The studio TV. Robots galore. It wouldn't be CES without robots. Some of the robots at CES this year include BreadBot. It's a bread baking machine that starts with flour. It can produce up to 235 loaves per day, all without human help. The Somnox, a robot that tracks a person's sleep and even claims to have an algorithm to lull them back into deep slumber, etc.
Oh, boy, I think we jumped the shark there.
Yeah, and then the article just ends. There's no wrap-up.
I can barely get over the robot that can hit more shots than Steph Curry.
You sent that out a tweet about that robot, and I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, can it dribble, or you just got to position it and it just shoots?
No, you didn't watch the video?
No, I watched the video.
Well, they had to. He's like, it's kind of like a SpongeBob thing, and Plankton's wife, it's the computer, and he wheels her out. Right now, it's got to be wheeled out.
Do you have references that aren't related to an 8-year-old child?
None that we could use on the air.
I just want to point this out. But
Anyway,
several references, all related.
They wheeled the robot out, and so far he cannot get open and create his own shot.
But does it calculate the first shot by itself? Do you understand?
I understand what you're saying. They put the guy out there,
Yep.
and once he makes a shot, he's 100%.
Right, he just repeats it, but that's like that long driving Iron
right,
Byron.
And right now I would say he's a mid-range shooter. I did notice he kept all the shots were like mid-range. There was no three-point shooting. He wasn't hitting half court. But you know how these things are. Right now, that's all he can do. They wheeled him out there. Before you know it, the guy's going to be out there on his own, and he's going to make Steph Curry look like you and I.
Yeah, well, it's going to get that dribbling robot going. The Boston Dynamics.
Or the Dogs, yeah.
Yeah. And there you go.
That was kind of scary, by the way.
Our look inside the Consumer Electronics Show. Get ready for your foldable 8K.
Isn't the big car show coming up soon? All that stuff happens in January, right? Like the first car show of the year.
I went to that Saturday
Detroit.
night. Oh, like Detroit, I think.
No, like the big Detroit car show.
I thought you meant the Daryl Gwynn Show of Shows, which was in Lighthouse Point this past Saturday night, and I was there. And I got to speak and introduce Daryl Gwynn, and it was great. We had a good time.
Sounds like the Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah, no, the Detroit. You're amazing to know that. The Detroit Auto Show, I think, is happening like now.
No, I think it's like next week or something.
Monday, January 14th.
Well, like I said, starting next week.
Yeah, like you've nailed it.
Sometimes I even amaze myself.
International Auto
Castello.
Show, and we're expecting a lot of big debuts and a lot of big things are going to be happening. It's going to be great. It's going to be very interesting. All right, what else is on our list? Did we do enough motorsports on this program? I think we did.
And look, first of all, it's the off season, and we do plenty of motorsports. And if you guys want
the roar before the 24 Rolex 24 practice this past couple of days,
yeah. If you guys want us to break down the motorsports, we can do that for
you.
Listen. Look again, early January, right? For the new listener who just tuned in,
yes,
welcome. But
you're welcoming him.
You will generally not hear Joe and I just go on here and pontificate about things that have not yet happened. We like to give our opinion once things have happened, and we actually have something to talk about. Unlike the other people that are, like the weathermen. Right 20, 30% of the time, and that's great for a weatherman. But we like to go on there and have some evidence and some kind of, data and go, oh, okay, this is why things work or don't work, and then we like to talk about them. We're not just the kind of guys that are going to come out here and tell you that this is what's going to happen at this race because,
Because chances are we're going to be wrong, and then we'll have to eat some crow, and I don't like that.
Right.
No, I don't like that.
And what? Now, while we do predict the races, and mind you, we do have a great record. I mean, we might be the best NASCAR handicappers in the universe.
Yeah, might.
Well, we are, right? Early in the year, I don't want to get big-headed. Last year, while we did have that record-breaking performance of picking 13 straight winners, we, over the big picture of the whole year, we just had an average year picking about 23 to 25 winners, which is average for us, 3 out of 4. That's the kind of guys we are here because we know our history and we know our NASCAR, and, we're kind of pretty good at this guessing game.
No, we are great.
And we have the great Bob Smith from William Hill, and we have the multiple-time fantasy champion who, when he decides to grace us with his presence, comes on board and gives us fantasy advice and gives us a little insider stuff as to what's going on in Charlotte. But, he's a big-time guy over there at the Hendrick Enterprises and sometimes doesn't have time for us. But
that is true. That is true. Did you communicate with Rich over the holidays?
Yeah, I gave him.
Why I did not communicate.
I told him he was number one.
I did. I communicated with Rich, but I did not communicate with the Money Man.
No, I have not heard from the Money Man.
No, but I did get a beautiful Christmas card. His wonderful family is evolving so nicely. At the NAIAS, which is the North American International Auto Show, you might be wondering, which vehicles are going to be the hot vehicles, right? We're going to give you that list right now. The Toyota Supra is coming back.
Ooh,
yes,
look at that.
Yes, and I've already seen
Weren't
some
we
shots.
Recently just talking about the Supra and the Starion and some of those
The Starion and the Supra and the 300 and all that. But the Supra is, NASCAR's got a Supra race car, and which takes the whole, these things don't really look like what they say they are supposed to be, to a whole new level. And I remember last year people were talking about the Supra, and I expunged it from my mind because it's just too, like, I can't suspend disbelief that much. I can't suspend. It's 37-16 now with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Still waiting on that touchdown.
I'm going to go out. Yeah. No,
Still waiting on that touchdown.
I'm waiting. Yeah. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Clemson's going to cover the spread in this one here, at the very least.
That doesn't help you, though, does it? You need both?
Absolutely. Well, I do need both for my particular play.
Yeah.
And having a giant payday.
Yes.
Yes, I need another touchdown here.
Clemson touchdown gets you.
But by the way, if it ends like this, I'm a happy camper. I am happy just seeing Clemson win this game.
Beat Alabama.
Yeah.
And then it's like 2-2 in the last 4 years?
That's exactly what it would be.
We got to go again next year then.
Yeah. Now, Alabama won last year, but they didn't beat Clemson in the final last year. They beat Georgia, I believe. Clemson lost in the semis last year to Alabama. But 2 years ago, with Deshaun Watson, Alabama won. But they've split back and forth now. It was Alabama won, then Clemson won, then Alabama won against somebody else, and now they're playing each other again.
Got it.
You see?
So Toyota Supra coming back, but also...
Dude, everything's coming back. Are they making a new RX?
I'm sure they are.
You know?
Yes, no, I told you. There's going to be an RX-9.
Everything's coming back.
Everything
what is
comes
old
back.
is new, and new is old.
There's only so many ideas.
We got the new Camaros. We got the Bumblebees years ago. We got the new Mustangs, all nice, and the Challengers. Everything that's cool
Everyone's
got to
coming
make
back.
a
Maybe
cool
Pontiac
sports
is coming
car.
Back. The 2020 Ford Explorer is going to be unveiled. Cadillac plans to show off the XT6, which is a large 3-row SUV, luxury SUV that is not the Escalade. You know what I mean? Escalade is its own thing. Truck SUV. This is, I would imagine, the Cadillac version of the Traverse.
You mean the Ford version of...
No, XT6. The
I
2020 is the Explorer.
Ford Explorer. Right.
Well, that's its own thing.
Oh, okay.
The Explorer is the Explorer.
Right.
And Shelby GT500's coming out.
Now, are they coming back with the new Bronco?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, the Bronco is coming.
The full-size Bronco?
The Bronco.
Are we going to have,
yes, there's going to be another chase.
White Broncos
They're getting Al Cowlings. Is going to debut it.
AC Cowlings.
Yes. Let me find that for you. The Bronco is back, man. That's real. Let's see.
Huh? How about that?
Leaked 2020 Ford Bronco. What you can expect. The Bronco's base price should be around $30,000.
That's not terrible.
No.
It's affordable.
And it looks kind of cool, the pictures that I've seen, what we know. Maybe that's what they'll unveil. The Bronco marks the return of the legend, the 2020 Bronco. I love it. Then Chevy should bring back the Blazer. Let's bring everything that ever happened back. Bring it back. Bring the beat back.
Oh, no, I think the Blazer's too small for this day and age, like the Bronco 2, and they don't have that Jimmy.
Well, that was
the
S10 Blazer. You're forgetting the full-size Blazer. The Blazer was a full-size
vehicle. But then now they got the Tahoe.
Now they have the Tahoe, which is basically the Blazer.
Right.
Except the Blazer was 2-door.
Yeah, it was.
Tahoe is a 4-door. You get a 2-door. There it is. There he is. Giovanni.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Whew.
Up. Flags are down.
Yeah.
No, flags are down.
Oh, no, you're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Why
Come on, man. I said flags are down when I saw the flag.
No, it's on the defense.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, no, this is going to stand. This is great.
You feel better now?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Very intense all day. Everybody was commenting about it. Like, Giovanni, what's up with
I
you?
totally disagree. I think since this show started about an hour and a half ago, I've been nothing but peachy keen, baby.
Yeah. I'm actually searching for the...
Whew. I know what you're searching for. Keep looking.
I'm searching for the sports collision sound effects.
Yeah. Whew. Did we ever report that I did not win my fantasy league? But you think that I did not win the fantasy league?
No.
Because we did report that I was playing for it. Were we not on?
Sports Collision.
Or was it that the last time we were on, I had won that game in particular?
Yes, you were winning a game when we last reported.
Well, I did win that game. I made it to the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, the fantasy gods were not on my side, and so a bunch of phooey happened at the end of the 1 o'clock games, as you witnessed. Remember, with the whole Brett Favre overtime fiasco with whomever they were playing, which caused her team to get all those unnecessary points. And
no, I remember it.
Oh, okay. No, you were over there.
I was at your house. No, but that was a big moment. That was a bad beat. That was a horrible moment.
I was on my way to victory, and I stole defeat from the jaws of victory there.
Yeah, we saw the momentum change before our eyes.
Did I not tell you the moment that it happened that we might as well leave because I wasn't going to win after that?
Yes.
And that's just the way it works because fantasy, I know it involves so much luck, and I probably didn't even deserve to be where I was, but I made it to the Super Bowl. I lost in the Super Bowl by very small margin, and, it is what it is. But today I am a very happy camper now to see Clemson get a victory and nonetheless get this game over with.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Woo!
Great victory by Giovanni.
It is.
That pressure is all. You know what?
I know Josh is out there.
Celebration.
And he feels my pain because I don't know. I haven't communicated with him in a while. I know he's probably on his way to the altar real soon. And
who's this you're talking about?
Josh, our friend Josh. Fantasy League. Josh and Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Josh is on the way to the altar real soon, and good luck to him.
I didn't know that.
But nonetheless, Clemson, way to go.
Sports Collision.
Woo!
What else is going on in the world of sports?
Well, our University of Miami Hurricanes had a crazy 24-hour period over here where they got embarrassed in a bowl game, and we had lost our defensive coordinator, Gentleman Jack. Thank you very much.
Yes, Elephant Racers, the bottle of Gentleman Jack that you brought, it is over.
Woo! 44-16 makes this game officially over, baby. 21 seconds to go in the third quarter. This is what makes me happy. I don't like those close games, and I don't like those people that say, who doesn't like a blowout? Nothing is better to be on the right side of a game that's over in the third quarter.
Cheers.
Chendante.
Yep.
I'll drink to
Congratulations.
that.
Great victory.
Well, thank you. No, you don't know it, man. You don't know it.
Now, man, you can pay the rent.
I'm starting to think that 2019 just might be a good year after all.
Consistency, man. Consistency.
Hey, those odd number years have always been good to me.
Oh, really? You got a thing like that?
I was born in 73. I got married in 01. I could go on with a bunch of different stuff that happened in some of those odd number years.
Two of the 46 years.
45.
But you're about to turn 46.
Yeah, but
which is even.
Oh, crap. I might die then.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, aren't you even number age on every odd number year?
Absolutely.
See?
Yeah.
That screws it all up. Sorry. Sorry to ruin it for you like that.
Look, man, all I know is that it's been a good couple of days since the year turned the calendar in the geo world of sports.
No, I dig. All right, so.
But NFL playoffs are going on as we continue the Sports Collision theme here. And this past weekend, we saw the first round of wild cards. For those of you Canadian fans out there like Mike, Race Guitar, that have no clue as to what goes on in the rest of the world other than the snow. Race Guitar, there's a thing called football over here that we play with an oblong.
First of all, Race Guitar will be the first to tell you that he is an American.
No, well, yeah, he'll be the. Look, I'm sorry.
Exiled in Canada.
Yeah, he might be American-born, but if you live in Canada and you're a Canadian resident and yada, 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 that makes you Canadian, Mike. No offense.
I disagree, Mike. I think you're still American.
And by the way, I like the long strips of bacon and not the round piece of ham that you guys call bacon. But anyway, sports going on. the NFL has begun its playoff, which is the form that they use to decide a champion.
Oh, is that?
And this past weekend, they had the first round of said championship called the Wild Card Weekend. And in the National Football Conference side of things, the Dallas Cowboys, America's team, self-proclaimed, defeated the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh, yeah. Craig in Seattle had to be devastated by that.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I got to tell you, Craig, you got to question what's going on there with your offensive play calling. And as great as Pete Carroll is, why aren't they throwing the ball and using Russell Wilson? Why are they running the ball, as my 8-year-old said? Why are they running the ball into the pile if it's not working, Dad? Why don't they try to do something else? And I looked over and I couldn't help but laugh because I was thinking the very same thing and thinking it can't be that simple, right?
Right.
Like, clearly this child and I must be idiots and don't see something that these genius coaches see. Why are they keep running the ball into the big pile and not try something else?
Right.
But anyway, somehow the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles from the NFC East, which a few weeks ago were both 3-5, mind you, have now advanced in the wild card round and find themselves in the divisional round. The Cowboys will be going to New Orleans. Philadelphia will be going to LA to play the Rams in next week's divisional. And in the AFC, you've got the Chargers, who beat Baltimore this past weekend. They're going up to New England to play the Patriots. And the Kansas City Chiefs, who had the bye, will be at home, and Indy will show up to play at Kansas City. And so that's this week's games. I am not exactly certain as to what the Vegas aspect of the games are right now. But, I will take a quick look and give you the quick Geo opinion if, you want to take a quick second to give me a breather so I can catch my breath here and find out what's going on.
Oh, yeah, we can find out what's going on. I'm actually concerned about the whole New York Yankees getting Manny Machado. I want to know the Geo take on that one, but we'll do it. I think it's actually very important that you give some picks for this weekend's NFL action. I mean, these folks, after all, they want to know. That's why they log on. That's why they sign on and tune in for moments just like this.
Sign on. Well, this past weekend that just happened, it happened to be one of those weekends where all the underdogs won, not just outright, but one of them won and covered and didn't win. But yeah, so if you were on the taking the points aspect of it, which is not just blindly going with the favorites, you would have had a very nice weekend. As I see here, let's just put it out there. Saturday, you got Indy, Kansas City. That's the first game. And Kansas City right now is, it looks like if it opened at 6, but it's quickly gone down to about 5.5, 5. We're looking at 5 or 6 points towards Kansas City. At this moment, very preliminary, as the championship game in NCAA is still going on. I would say that take the points, ladies and gentlemen. Take the points with Indy. Kansas City is a team that's not to be trusted. They have a young quarterback, Andy Reid, in the playoffs. You just never know what you get with him. He's been a great regular season coach.
Whoa, what?
But, in the playoffs, you just don't know what you're going to get with Andy Reid. Take the points with Andrew Luck. Take the points. All right, Saturday night, Dallas at the Rams. You got the Rams, a 7-point favorite. Again, a huge favorite. But you know what? I'm thinking that Dallas does not travel great. And I'm just going to give you my thoughts on these. This is not a big pick, but I like the Rams here. I like the Colts a lot. I like the Rams a little bit. Chargers at Patriots. Wow, the way the Patriots have been playing this year, you got to wonder. The Chargers arguably are the best team right now in the AFC. And I'm going to tell you right here, Gio's picking the Chargers as the underdog pick. Phillips Rivers year to go to the Super Bowl. You heard it right here first.
Whoa.
The Chargers and the Colts are both going to win. They're going to put the NFL in the most uncomfortable position of having the championship game played in a soccer stadium in front of 22,000 people in LA. And I don't think that that's going to happen, so something's going to have to give there. So, listen, either the NFL moves that game or they're going to do everything in their power so that San Diego doesn't win and Indy.
What can they do?
I don't know. You never know how those referee things go. A call that could go either way when they go upstairs and New York says, oh, yeah, I'm sorry, fumble, no fumble, kind of thing. Anyway, Sunday. Late game. New Orleans at home against Philadelphia. It's a big, heavy line. The Saints by 8. I don't like the line, but I like the Saints to beat Philadelphia. I think the Nick Foles magic runs out. The Saints win. The Saints get to the Super Bowl, and the Chargers get to the Super Bowl. It's a little bit early. I mean, we're going ahead, but
yeah. Well, no, I think you just did. We wound you up and sent you spinning, and you came back with a New Orleans Chargers Super Bowl prediction.
Wow, how did that happen?
I don't know. That's something, though. I'm excited.
Look,
I
gotta
write it down, everybody.
If in doubt, take the points, boys and girls. They don't build billion-dollar casinos in the middle of the desert because people are going out there to collect a lot of money.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'll be out there. I'll be out there in, I don't know, April. Looking forward to that.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, got to get you out there.
Love me some me.
Well, there you go. Sports Collision. I think that worked out pretty well. Anything else? What's up with Machado, though? What's up with the Yanks and Machado? What's going on? I thought we were expecting an announcement like last week or something. Remember? They were like, there's going to be an announcement any day, and there's nothing.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I had a source that told me that roughly between now and next week, the announcement would be made that he signed on with the Yankees, that it is not a 10-year deal, that you're looking more at between 6 and 8 years in the approximate range of 180 to 240. So they were talking about him getting the, big money, 30 to 35 mil a year, but not the 10 years. Is my, just saying from someone that I heard that does not work for the Yankees or anything like that, but is in the kind of stuff that we do.
Right.
And that's what they were told.
Wow.
This was last week that I heard this. It's still viable, but as time goes by, I'm thinking, you know what? We don't need this guy, and we don't need Harper or the other guy. You look back and what we did in the 90s was a lot more of the pure talent being homegrown, and you pencil them in there with a Charlie Hayes here, a Scott Brosius there, a Tino Martinez, a Paulie O'Neill. We didn't spend by going out and getting the big free agent guy. We got the right pieces to supplement the big talent. And I feel like we got some of that big talent that's coming up, and some of it's already there. I see that I think that Gary is going to have a comeback year, and I'm not so much into giving, mind you, again, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I feel that we are the Yankees, and generally speaking, money should not be an object. But clearly with the new ownership and the rules being what they are with the prohibitive luxury tax and the penalties being so absorbent for being over it for multiple years, and these guys are not like their daddy that all he cared about was winning at no cost or whatever the cost. These guys are about making the money. Then we can't just go crazy and get guys like this, especially when Harper's out there next year, when Arenado's out there next year, and guys like that. Manny cost himself a lot of money this offseason by opening his big mouth and saying those things he said about not hustling.
How about that? Just one comment, though. One comment. That just shows you everything is political. Because, like, you say one thing, and it can just fundamentally change if you're a big-time athlete, if you've got the megaphone. That is an exercise in what not to do. Yeah, at the moment, you could have never convinced him you're costing yourself millions of dollars. But everybody, I remember my little Yankee text machine that we go back and forth, immediately blew up. Whoa, we don't want Machado. We don't want this guy. And I agree. I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's the kind of thing. You're in the World Series, and guy doesn't, whatever.
Look at it this way. His comments actually got the owner of the Yankees to consider that, hey, maybe this is not the kind of player that we want here.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing.
You know? And even if, let's just say for argument's sake, he didn't want to go to New York or anything like that, his comments caused him to lose such a significant amount of money just by the ridiculousness of it. And whether it was, said inappropriately or misconstrued, or he didn't mean it that way, because I get it. I've heard his explanation of it, and he was just saying that I'm not, the way he made it seem is that he's trying to come across as, I'm not going to fake hustle for the camera.
Right.
There are too many guys that pretend to be hustlers in front of the camera, and they're really not. With me, it's more of what you see is what you get. And by the way, I respect that thought process, but he just wasn't able to get it across that way. And when you got to, one thing in life is you got to be able to at least say what you mean.
Well, exactly. And it's just sad. Big mistake. What are you going to do?
No, look, the guy is still a great ball player. He's 26 years old. He's going to get paid. It's just over the last couple of years with the way that baseball's collective bargaining agreement is, and what these agents have slightly overvalued their clients. And by the way, I'm not beyond saying that these owners haven't colluded, because they've done it in the past. But they have found the way, with the way that the collective bargaining and the free agent process is in baseball right now, that the last 2 years, free agents have gotten the shaft. We're talking about a handful of guys at this point where we're almost the season about to start. I mean, in reality, the season's closer to starting than it is to ending last year. We've had 5 guys sign multiple-year free agent deals. And last year, how many guys got multi-year deals? So, I don't know. Maybe collusion is not going on. But if you tell me that collusion is going on, I got to tell you, there's a lot of evidence of what's going on. Like, the owners have done this before.
Right.
And that's the only thing that would lead me to believe, they're not beyond not doing it again.
But there's no collusion.
No, of course not. It's not collusion, but wink, wink, hung, all of a sudden nobody's getting signed to big deals. Got to make you wonder. These owners have done this before. And now all of a sudden no one's getting big deals. Not even the 25 and 26-year-old free agents. Now, never mind that baseball's got a whole different thing where the teams control a player for their 5, 6, 7 years, which is the vast majority of their youth. But for the last 2 years, there has been no big signings. Did the agents just all overvalue their clients? Or is maybe something else going on? I don't know. We'll find out more about this as time goes on. But if Machado and Harper can't get big deals, then who is? We're going to find out, because in 2 more seasons, Trout will be a free agent at 29. And there has not
we got to get him.
There has not historically been a better player than this kid over the beginning of his career.
Dude, we got to get him.
So it's not just we got to get him, but if this guy can't get paid, then something's definitely not right.
No, it makes perfect sense. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. All right, this has been Sports Collision by Giovanni. Excellent work. I got to tell you, man, that was in depth. You are very excited because you just won. You've got the glow and the aura of a winner. It's great. It's great stuff. So let me look. Of course, NHRA Nitro coming up. We want to welcome everybody back. It's been fantastic. The show is going to be going. This is episode 1. It has been basically just get everything off our chest. We did not do the Bumblebee movie review, which we went to see, the Bumblebee. Bumblebee was a Volkswagen before he was a Camaro, but, finally. Right?
Yeah, we saw Bumblebee. And by the way, it was cute. It was very nice. You didn't like it?
Well, I have kind of kept it to myself, but now is the time to reveal.
Might as well. We're going on close to 2 hours.
There was many things about.
7 minutes because I got to get out.
I love Oh. That's it.
I got money to go spend now, man.
This guy's been going on and on and on. I've been sitting here just staring at him, and now he's like rushing me off the air, right? I'm ready, man. Let's just turn it off.
That's it.
Let's turn it off.
I got money. We got
You know I didn't like the movie.
Can I say what I want to say?
Didn't like the movie.
Let's go get some cocaine and hookers.
Oh, my gosh. Write that time down. So it was okay. It was okay, but there was many things that I didn't like. As I get older, I get annoyed by different things. As someone who grew up around the Transformers, and I like the Transformers, and I recently just found my original Transformers, and I found them, which is kind of cool. I also found my Atari 2600. Well,
I found a bunch of Star Wars stuff, but I don't have any Transformers.
I got a couple of Transformers. I'll be happy to show you. It's really neat, though. I remembered having this whole set, and I wondered where the hell they were. Well, I've been cleaning, really been throwing away everything that I own. I've been going through a big thing. I found my original Atari 2600 with all the cartridges. I've decided to try to restore it. It's going to be great. I also found the Transformers. But that has nothing to do with the Transformers movie, Bumblebee. Two things I didn't like. One, I got very annoyed by the relationship with the mom and the stepdad and the girl, right? Like everything is
that
so
negative family,
just
of,
so negative. It's everything is always totally dysfunctional. Why do we have to always show every family is totally dysfunctional? It's like
because the broken homes and all that.
Right,
are
but Beaver
dysfunctional.
Cleaver, okay, yes, that wasn't realistic, and our primitive matrix minds decided to reject it. But does every family have to be totally dysfunctional? Does every parent and child relationship have to be all messed up?
Okay, now to be fair, the
They
relationship
were.
with the teenage daughter was messed up. But
Yes.
the younger sibling who saw this stepfather as the father.
Well, the younger
figure,
sibling was not the step; he was the actual product of that kid. I thought.
Oh, it's funny that you would look at it that way. Look
Yes.
at this. We have two different perspectives right here.
Yeah, they were
I imagine
stepbrother.
that neither one of those kids belonged to the guy.
No, I thought that the kid
But-
he had the curly hair. They both had the curly hair.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
You know what? That brings a different perspective, I guess. You see the difference between
that's why she felt so alienated.
product of a broken home and product of a loving home.
Not only loving, but like extremely loving and helpful and near as close to perfect as you can get.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much Matrix also.
Well,
But,
but that's
by the
why.
way-
So that bothered me, but whatever. Then it just, I don't know, man. The Transformers battling part was cool.
I greatly
but
disliked the fact that it was a buggy. But Bobby's
Yeah.
Bug Barn would love that.
Bobby's Bug Barn, definitely love it. I hated the continuity error, or
What
they're hanging
the
out.
sunroof.
They're out the top of a sunroof. They're having a moment. They're driving around. They're not steering.
Okay, wait.
And then the
So-
car a minute
so-
later doesn't have a sunroof.
You could get
Come
past
on,
the
man.
whole robots transforming into cars and airplanes and all this crap, but you couldn't get past the fact that in one scene they have a sunroof and then
Consistency, man. Consistency.
Oh,
Give it to me.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. That's my goal.
I know it is. Consistency. That was just ridiculous. What is that? Then later, show us the sunroof again, and it's like a special transform he does or something. But don't show us the sunroof in one scene, and then the rest of the movie, the car doesn't have a sunroof, man.
All right.
In a A-list Hollywood blockbuster, like that's a big mistake.
Well, that wasn't. I wouldn't call that a
Bumblebee
Hollywood
was
blockbuster.
huge. Yes,
No.
Michael Bay, man.
Yes, but I don't think Bumblebee was huge like Hollywood blockbuster that made a lot of
And
money.
then Bumblebee spends his whole movie getting his butt kicked. Whatever. I liked it. It just wasn't that great. That's all. Now, one movie that definitely was terrible that I saw, a Joe Old movie review coming at you.
Oh,
Yes,
whoa.
I only watched 10 minutes of it, and I turned it off immediately. Arthur. I saw Arthur.
Like the old school
No,
Arthur with Dudley Moore?
no, of course not. That's one
Oh,
of my
the
favorite
one Jude
movies of all.
Law?
Not Jude Law. That other guy. That guy that you're talking about. You know
His
him.
name is Jude. Oh no!
Yes.
the black-haired British dude.
Right.
Long black-haired.
So
dude.
here's the thing: is that I like
what's his
Arthur.
name? I
Well,
know
look
who
it up.
it-
Arthur.
hey.
I'm a fan of Arthur. Like Arthur
Katy
is one.
Perry's boyfriend. or
Right.
husband or
Arthur
something.
is one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies of all time. Like I like Dudley Moore, man. I thought he was funny. I thought he was hysterical. As young Joe was developing a sense of humor, that made me laugh big time. Arthur, like when he's like, "Oh yeah, hedge," he's like this drunken but lovable character. Loved him. Arthur. He was great. Didn't think Liza Minnelli was hot enough to be in the role.
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand. And so when they remade Arthur, I thought, I will never watch this movie. I hate it like poison right from the start. Russell Brand, who I don't really like that much anyway. And so I never watched it. Well, the other day it was on, and I said, well, let me watch it. And it was the biggest mistake. I won't say it's the biggest mistake in my life because I've had some big ones. But this was a big mistake, man. I watched 10 minutes and became totally disgusted and irritated and irritable. And then I tried to go to the Amazon to watch the original Arthur to erase it from my memory. But I couldn't get on the web. And thus, I still have it in my memory.
That's terrible.
And anyway, that's really all we've got. That's all we got there, Giovanni. That's all we got for this edition, this first one. If you like the...
If you see K in Tijuana?
In Tijuana. If you see K in Tijuana.
We'll see you
in Tijuana, too. Right.
Tijuana, too.
See you in Tijuana, too. Right. Exactly. The whole thing is this. WFO is wrapped in motorsports. And yes, we love cars and racing and engines and sound and speed and fury.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? But we also have many other very diverse interests. And as you can tell, it just jumps from subject to subject to subject to subject rapidly. It's like going on Rich and Saugus, one of our great listeners from so long, he's into river rafting. That's his thing. Giovanni, not so much. Me either. I would do it, though. Would you do it? You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't get one of those rafts. No way.
I would do that before I jump out of a perfectly good plane. Or
you'd be like Snoopy and Woodstock
crap.
In the inner tube.
Well, I already feel like
would
Snoopy.
Never jump out of a plane.
I feel like Pigpen half the time, just walking around in that cloud of dust. But.
Consistent. But the show is like that, where you're going and the water is calm and it's fine and you're cruising and you feel like you know what's happening, and then around the next bend, guess what? Things are taking a crazy turn. And that's what WFO is all about. And if you think that's cool and you can deal with it, click subscribe, check out the show. And as we get into the season and real stuff and things happening, you're definitely going to love it. Like next week, episode 2. Now, what's going to happen, Giovanni, is I am going up to Johnson City, Tennessee. Do you know this?
Well, I know that you're, on a TV show and you
Performance TV. Let's do that. Wait, bring down that music 1 second. Let's do something with our audience, because I have found over the years that it is good to do these exercises. Ready, everybody? If you're listening, ready? Okay. Go to your television. Go to your television. Wherever you are, go to the television. Oh, I'm in the truck. I can't go to the television. All right, write yourself a note to go to your television. Go to the television and go to the guide and go to Motor Trend. Now, on Uverse, it's 1104. But I don't know what it is on DirecTV or whatever, but it used to be Velocity Network, but it's no longer Velocity Network. It's Motor Trend.
Yes.
8:30 a.m. Sunday. Performance TV. Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Performance TV. Motor Trend Network. 1104 on Uverse. Who knows what it is on DirecTV or Comcast or cable or whatever. Jones Intercable. Remember that?
Jones, no.
Yeah, that was one of them. Bottom line, DVR. Digital Video Recorder. Some would say TiVo. Full season. Performance TV. With the one and only Kathy Fisher and myself. Last week's show. SEMA 2018. It was pretty spectacular. I got to tell you, I watch it every week and I cringe because it's myself and I'm judging myself. And it's like, oh, did I do good? Oh. And the answer is, yeah, it was good enough. It was good. It was good stuff. We showed some cool cars and it's a very fast-minute moving show. That is one thing I got to say. It's half hour.
If it's half yours, who does the other half belong to?
Half hour.
Yeah.
Half,
so who does the other half belong to?
Kathy Fisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it moved, man. It moved. It's a half hour. Now, they're not all winners, man, but that one was good. I give you credit for the attempt. The gentleman jack is kicking in. The glow of victory is still strong. So you're trying some stuff that maybe is ill-advised. It's no big deal. That's part of it. But it was good. It was fast.
Happy.
It was fast moving. It was fun. So set your DVR, Performance TV, Motor Trend Network, formerly Velocity, 8:30 Sunday morning. Watch the show. Share the show. We have a Facebook page for Performance TV.
Look at that.
Go check it out and interact. And some people are like, oh, this show, there's lots of infomercial stuff. And sometimes there is. We feature products. But we want the WFO audience to check out that show as well.
I want that stuff for the headlights.
You should get it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
That was
Especially
amazing.
now that we're busy every weekend doing all kinds of work.
Lots of work, lots of getting done, man. 2019 is starting off with accelerated effort.
Chino should be around more often.
Yeah, it's your buddy. No, it's good. Listen, he's
like the good Gio on the left shoulder.
I can only motivate you so much.
He could be the bad Gio too.
He only motivates. He helps motivate. You had a lot of home projects.
He forces me to go out and actually physically do stuff, which I would normally not do.
I do not have the ability to force you.
Right.
He does.
Yeah.
It's great. No, whatever. You need to be forced. Consistency, man. Consistency. Let's just remember that for 2019.
How about that?
Gio 2019.
Pulling that out
consistency.
Of the bag,
You're running for it's like you're running for office, but not really.
Yeah.
Gio 2019. Consistency. What is your New Year's resolution? Email Joe at WFOradio.com or feel free to post it in our group on Facebook or wherever you want. Now
and
you can
as
play.
we get out of here,
yes.
I just want to give a big ha to all you bozos that were talking about Alabama and this year's Alabama team being as great as the 01 Hurricanes. So, yeah, there you go. Go look at the score of this game and tell me how great they are.
There it is. Go Canes. You never even got through your whole Canes coaching thing? We didn't talk about Adam Gase getting fired by the Miami Dolphins. We didn't get.
It was a crazy 24 hours here, yeah.
So
but
much going on.
Canes got a new coach. The Dolphins. Let's just see if they can do what they got to do. Tannenbaum is still employed, so I would never trust him to do the right thing as long as that guy is still in the house.
Real disappointing. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. We really appreciate you. And the holidays of 2018 are in the rearview mirror. We are going to ramp up. If you are a WFO Patreon, you can expect something new and fresh and exciting, like a secret after show or pre-show, depending on when you listen to it, coming at you real soon. Thanks, everybody. WFO.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
I love WFO Radio.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Bye, bye, bye.